If you're watching this video because you just found out that you are expecting twins, congratulations. If you're watching this video because you know someone who's having twins, congratulations to them as well, and to you for being an auntie or an uncle, whatever it is, even if it's a close friend. It's your job to mother the mother, so congrats on finding this video. And I'm going to be as honest and forthcoming as I possibly can be and provide as much support as I can, because you are about to undertake an absolute shit show. It's so funny when people see my twins and they go, "Oh, I wanted twins," and I'm like, "You couldn't handle it." That's usually where I go, is like, "You couldn't handle it." It's not for the weak. It's really fucking hard, and the pregnancy is brutal. Congrats. But I do want to tell you how I got through it, how I enjoyed it, and how I made it to 38 and a half weeks. So my twins were almost 8 pounds when they were born, and I get asked the question all the time, how did they get so big? How did you make sure that they weren't preemies? I'm like, that wasn't a goal of mine. Like, I don't think a goal for anyone needs to be having 8-pound twins. That's 16 pounds a baby. Your body is miraculous as a woman, but it's fucking hard to deliver to 8 pounds baby, and it damn near killed me. Like, I flatlined on the delivery table. I would not advise anybody to try to have 8-pound babies. So really what this video is going to be about is enjoying your pregnancy, enjoying your twins, but also about nutrition and health, yours and the baby. So believe it or not, when a baby is born, it doesn't really matter what you eat as a mother. What matters, it matters more what you ate prior to becoming a mother. Don't let that stress you out, because you can still fill your body with good nutrition, but really what that's going to do is your baby's going to deplete your stores. And so storing more nutrition, vitamins, minerals, fats, carbs, etc., in your body is going to keep you strong and healthy, and hopefully decrease some of the side effects that you'll have from a twin pregnancy. Because if you are just beginning and you're like glowing, like, "Oh my God, I'm having twins," get ready, because it's going to get intense. Okay. But I'm going to help you get through it, because my pregnancy, like I said, was fucking brutal. But I still was able to enjoy it, I think. I probably blocked out some of the negative things. Okay, so let's start with the number one thing that you need to do when you are pregnant with twins. If you are expecting twins, you need to drink a gallon of water a day. 64 ounces is not cutting it, because that was for one human, but you now have 3. So drinking a gallon of water is going to decrease the swelling, decrease the headaches, the sleeplessness, all of the tiredness that you're probably feeling. You're probably bloated and you're like, "Oh my God, I'm only 6 weeks in and I feel like gargantuan." That's because you need to drink more water. The babies will take whatever they want from you. They're like little parasites that'll just like suck all of the stores out of you. So you need to be replenishing your body with a gallon of water a day. Anyone that knew me during my pregnancy said it was like epic to watch me drink water. I would carry around either a hydro flask that was like 55 ounces and I would refill it twice, or I would carry around an Ozark, a gallon of water, especially when I traveled. And if it was 10 p.m. and I still hadn't finished my gallon, I was going to chug it and I was going to push it down. And I'm telling you, I have no doubt in the world that that is exactly what saved me. My kidneys started to fail towards the end of my delivery. My spleen, my liver, all of my filtration systems were like shutting down. And they had 2 IVs in me, pumping me full of fluids. Had I not already been incredibly hydrated, no doubt in my mind I would have died. No doubt in my mind. That's not me being dramatic. I had so much fluid in my body that I was able to stay alive when most bodies would have been kaput, and my kids would have been left to their father to raise, on his own, actually. And that would have been a total shit show in itself. But so I drank a gallon of water a day. Write that down. Don't forget it. That's the number one most important thing you're going to do. Number 2, focus really, really heavily on nutrition. I am not going to go into any detail about some foods or recipes right now, because if you're anything like me when you're pregnant with twins, just the talk of food makes you want to puke. So one thing that I did was Topo Chico, or carbonated, like a soda, something that's kind of fizzy, and lemon. And even before I was going into a restaurant or about to sit down for a meal, I would sip my Topo Chico with lemon, because it settled the stomach. If you can get fresh ginger as well, just like the kind that you get at a sushi restaurant, get some fresh ginger or ginger chews, ginger drops, but it's got to be natural. Don't get any of that sweet stuff. You'll puke, okay? Eat a little bit of ginger, Topo Chico, and lemon, and you can usually stomach a meal a little bit better. I was also very quick. So like when a waitress would come up to the table, I would say, "I'm pregnant. Don't talk about food. Don't talk about specials." I'm just gonna order. Don't say anything else. And she's like, okay, because it would make me puke to even hear about food. You might not be at that place yet, but if you do get to that place, don't be scared to be a bitch, because you don't want to just like puke all over the chips and salsa and queso on your table. Just hearing about food made me really sick, but you need to eat. So if you can afford a wheatgrass shot, do it every day if you can, or at least once a week. If that's not in your budget, then try to do it once a month. But that little teeny tiny cup of wheatgrass is so incredibly powerful for you. It's like eating like a week's worth of vegetables in one little shot. They also have them at Whole Foods in the frozen section. They're like these little packages of wheatgrass that you can just kind of thaw out. You can buy wheatgrass at the farmer's market, any kind of health food store, and blend it up yourself, or just like cut it up and add it to salads, but it's just so powerful. Sprouts, microgreens, wheatgrass, avocado was like my staple. I don't know how I would have survived without avocado. If you can stomach like a smoked salmon or sardines or something, those are also really packed with nutrients, although sardines can be hard when you're pregnant. So I fell in love with cream cheese and caviar. And I would put it on like a wafer thin, like cracker, or even like an Ezekiel bread or something that was full of sprouts and grains. This is not the time to be conscious of carbs. Definitely load yourself up with carbs. I mean, I will tell you, I ate a shit ton when I was pregnant, but I really tried to make it healthy as much as possible. I won't lie and say I didn't splurge, because there were times where I would go through a drive-through at Taco Bell and I would eat like 3 bean and cheese burritos. But also that day I had my wheatgrass, I had my alfalfa sprouts, I had my spinach, I had those things, cold pressed juices and stuff like that. You're gonna sit down and eat a big old large pizza and not apologize to anyone about it, because you're like feeding the beast. It gets really insane. Like, just warn your spouse, it's gonna get nuts. But try to focus on nutrition on top of all the calories that you're just like, blah, blah. I mean, I ate like crazy. I would get like a full plate of ribs, right? And eat the whole rack, like sauce, drip it everywhere, because you're just so ravishing when you're pregnant with twins. It was insane. But get a lot of nutrition in. Whatever your friends took for their prenatal vitamins, double it. I lived in Austin while I was pregnant, and I went to People's Pharmacy, but any sort of like health food pharmacy will probably have like a really solid prenatal vitamin. Usually there's a pack of like 6, double it up, take 2. There's no harm in taking double nutrition, but the nutrition is really, really important. So double up on that. And then also, if you can, focus on fats. All right. Right now, you're lucky because the keto craze is all about healthy fats. It's no different when you're pregnant. I actually went through a phase when I was pregnant where I was eating a shit ton of butter. Like, I would sit down at a restaurant and be like, can I have some butter, please? And I remember one time my little sister looked at the waiter, as the waiter said, well, the bread is buttered. And my sister looked at him and she goes, that's not what she asked. She asked for some butter. She was 9 months pregnant at the time, so she totally got it. But I ate an entire stick of butter. I threw it up later, but I ate a stick of butter, and I ate a lot of butter the first couple of months of my pregnancy. And I swear to God, it's because of the butter was like heavy and like, it was grass-fed butter. So it was really heavy in like fats and also calcium. And I just couldn't get enough. And I just kind of trusted my gut and went with it. And I told my OB-GYN, hey, I'm eating a ton of butter. She's like, not a problem. Trust your gut, go with it. If you find yourself eating something like laundry detergent or like paint chips, definitely don't do that. But for the most part, trust your gut. Whatever you're craving, go for it, eat it, because it's probably something that your baby needs. There was a time where I was really, really low in iron, because remember what I said, your twins are parasites, okay? They're sucking your body dry of everything that it needs. They don't care about anything other than survival. They don't know you yet. You're not really mom. You're just like this host for these 2 parasites. So they're sucking all the calcium out of your bones. They're sucking out all of your iron. About 4 months in, I would like get winded going up a flight of stairs. I tried to do prenatal yoga and I was like falling over, and I'm like, this is weird, because I'm like a really healthy person. And I talked to my OB-GYN. She's like, let's have your iron checked. And turns out my little parasites were taking all of the iron out of my body. And I ended up needing to do IV iron infusions for 5 hours once a week, which was brutal in itself. I had to go to Texas Oncology Center and get hooked up to the IVs and get iron pushed into my body every week. And it was very time consuming. So if you could get ahead of that, iron supplements are brutal. You'll never shit again if you start taking iron supplements, so don't do it. But try to get iron from your spinach, and if you can stomach like a liver pate, duck eggs. Those things are all really, really, really rich in iron, and try to incorporate iron into every day. Also vitamin D, okay, because you're going to be very, very, very tired. You can't take a vitamin D supplement. You need to get it from the sun. I made an effort to get outside every day, whether it was a walk, whether it was a hike, whether it was just sitting outside and reading a book. 20 to 30 minutes a day, you're going to get enough vitamin D for yourself and for your baby. So just really try to commit to that if you can. Another thing that I would suggest is working out. Now, if you're not someone that works out regularly, then I would suggest just kind of like a brisk walk, working up to, like a hike or maybe like a light jog early in your pregnancy if it's advised by your doctor. But I did Zumba. All the way up to 36, 37 weeks maybe. I did a lot of strength training. I did a lot of yoga. You need your body to be fit, okay? You are growing two humans with that body, and you want them to be healthy. You want to be physically fit. You want to have stamina. You want to have endurance. You want your muscles to be strong, but also you just want to be sane, okay? Your pregnancy is going to get really intense, and you don't know. It's like a ticking time bomb. Like, when will my doctor tell me I'm on bed rest? Okay, let's just play that game from the very early beginning. Tick, 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 tick. When will I be on bed rest? So take advantage of the time that you're not on bed rest and exercise and get your body in good working order for that delivery, because it's going to be intense and you're going to need to be in top-notch like working order, okay? I also had something in my pregnancy called PUPS, P-U-P-P-S. It is common in women who it's their first pregnancy. It's common when you are expecting a boy. And it's also common when you have multiples. So yay, I had 3 for 3. It was my first pregnancy. I was expecting 2 boys. And because they're multiples, I got PUPS. You probably haven't heard of PUPS because your friends don't want to tell you about it, and your parents don't want to tell you about it, and your OB-GYN doesn't want to scare you. So I'm going to tell you, it's fucking awful. It's pregnancy chickenpox, and it was so fucking gross. My body literally broke out all across my stomach, all across my chest, all along my thighs. I had like herpes, like skin herpes. These little pustules that were breaking open, and it was disgusting. It was absolutely awful. I thought I was ruined for life, but you know what really helps? Don't take an antihistamine because it's bad for your baby. I smothered myself in coconut oil every single night. I would put coconut oil and olive oil and whatever oil I could find in my tub. It probably clogged the drain, but it was a rental, so but I would sit in the tub, warm water and coconut oil, because it was the only thing that would stop the itching. But I will tell you, this is not your entire pregnancy. It may happen probably a little bit at the end. You can get ahead of it by dry brushing every day, which is also good for your lymphatic system. Dry brush all the areas that are gonna stretch. So like your breast, your stomach, your thighs. This also helps avoid stretch marks. But I would dry brush everything, and then I would smother myself with coconut oil, and it just helped. It helped so much. And even though that little phase of my pregnancy was god awful, I was still enjoying the fact that I had these 2 little humans that were just so full of hormones that my body was like, all right, we got to adjust. And there was just so much love that it was bursting out in these delicious pustules everywhere, okay? What got me through my pregnancy was really trying to focus on the joy of it, the fun, that there's these 2 little tiny humans inside you. I really was trying to get to know them every day. I would touch them and I would talk to them, and I named them during the pregnancy, and I really got to interact with them, and they interact with each other, okay? It starts to be like 2 pigs fighting under a blanket, although the blanket is your tummy and your uterus, so it's not really that comfortable. I also had a really nasty like muscle or knot in between my shoulder blades, and I couldn't get comfortable. Like the last few months, I wasn't really good company. I don't think anybody really wanted to be around me. I was really kind of just crabby and angry because I was in pain, because it's really uncomfortable. So if you can afford some good dry needling, that's not something I even knew existed when I was pregnant, but that knot on my back, for whatever reason, which got so big and it hurt so bad, I couldn't sit back because it hurt to be on it, but I couldn't sit forward because then it would frustrate it. I couldn't sit on my side because one baby would squish another baby, and you're just kind of like this massive weeble wobble, like, oh my God, what do I do? But if I had dry needling or acupuncture, sorry, what is going on over here? My rainbow was swallowing my hair. If I had dry needling, what they do is they just put the dry needling like on that spot, and it like loosens up the muscles automatically. I loved acupuncture. I became kind of I would say like a soulful slut, I would say. I sought out crystals, incense, yoga, flower essences, bringing the 4 elements into the home. I really became kind of a spiritual junkie because I wanted to create this ambiance of positive energy, calmness, acceptance, love, all of that. And not only did it help me to cope with everything that I was going through as an expectant twin mom, but it really helped me to just kind of prepare for bringing in these 2 lives, because I'm a firm believer that the 2 souls that I was carrying inside of me, they were crossing what I call the rainbow bridge, right? They were coming from the spiritual world to the physical world, and it's such a beautiful thing. And I wanted to welcome them in a very warm, inviting, very loving way. And every day I would just take a moment to talk with them and let them know, like, hey, please don't kill me on the way out. Like, I love you so much and I can't wait to meet you. And I was trying to just enjoy all of the setbacks, I would say the obstacles to pregnancy. But really what it is, twin pregnancy is boot camp by design, because when they're born, it's also hard. And so rather than being scared of how tough a twin pregnancy can be and how tough having twins is, it's also a blessing, because like I had a teacher that said every time she sees this meme of that says, that one's really cocky. It's like it's God looking down and going, that one's really cocky. Give that bitch twins, you know? And it was very humbling for me to be like, this is not a freaking cakewalk. This is really hard and it's really intense, but it's a blessing and an honor, because the universe, that God, Allah, whatever you believe in, saw that you could handle it. Not everybody can. And it's a blessing. And even the hard stuff, you just got to tell yourself, this too will pass. I'm tough. I'm tougher than I think I am. I'm not only going to survive, I'm going to thrive. I hope this video was not scary for you. I hope that you find it humorous and enlightening, and I hope that you will apply some of these things to have a healthy, happy twin pregnancy. Congratulations again to you or your friends and family that are expecting twins. If you've not yet found my website, wholeheartcrunchyparenting.com, please take a look. But also there's a lot of information and good resources for expectant parents in season 1 of my podcast, Whole Heart Crunchy Parenting, on Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay with me, and I'll try to be as informative and honest as possible along this journey. Thank you very much. Be well.